Tommy made a point to highlight the joy of this story. It starts obviously in a really bad place. It's like really traumatic what happens to Ben, but so much of the story is about learning to receive love and hopefully get to a place where you can give it back to people. And I think that is so universal and something that I'm working on right now in my life. And everyone's always saying like, love each other, but it's like, that really is like all we have.
Filmmaker Magazine presents Back to One with Peter Rinaldi.
Corey Fogelmanis is an actor. He sat down with me on the Upper West Side of Manhattan to talk about the work.
Is there a typical way you like to begin your preparation process when you get a new character? Like, is there a typical first step that you take to kind of wrap your arms around this new person that you have to play?
Honestly, nothing that I can really turn to. I kind of read the script a couple of times. Well, when I'm doing an audition, I think the first step is making sure I know what I'm saying. So it's like going through and making sure I know what each line means. But that being said, I think that's something that will change over time. And I think like as you're building a character, lines will probably start to mean other things. Yes. But I think that's actually something I'm really trying to figure out right now, is like what I need to do to feel like I know what I'm doing by the time I show up to set. Yeah. Because it's so elusive and every character wants something different and you have different amounts of time for everything. Yeah. And just like different requirements. Sometimes, you know what I do actually really like? I love to give myself some physical, just like if there's, say like for example, like a character of mine was like a runner. I started running a bunch and it was interesting because then I would, finish my run and for the rest of the day I would feel it in my body somewhere. And then I would kind of use that as maybe a starting point to ground myself in a scene. Whether it's just like, something in like my shins or, then I'm massaging my legs while I'm talking to my brother. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, this is just like an interesting way in that's like not directly me, but like is me because I've put myself through this thing that this character does. And I really like that.
You've been acting since you were a kid. What was it like when you were first started out?
I loved it. Like I really loved theater. My mom took me to shows from a really young age. So it was her kind of introducing her love of it to me, but she never did it or anything. And then I met some friends doing community theater and they were like, come meet my agent. I was growing up a little bit outside of Los Angeles, so it wasn't like too far. And so it must have been maybe them seeing something, but I never anticipated having a career in film. Like I kind of always thought I was just gonna do theater. And now I've only really been doing TV and film. Yeah. And I'm like crawling, like trying to get back to the stage.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You love that.
I love it. It's, well, because you can use your whole body. And I mean, like, you can do that in film too, but I also find it can also feel like a disembodied head at times. Yeah. And there can be like this energy in a wide that when you move to a close-up, it all kind of spills out because
that's so interesting.
And I'm not really sure, what to do about that. It's, maybe it's what it needs, but I always see it as like, oh, something is missing now. Like I've lost something that it had before. Yeah. So you don't have that. Do you think, this is a weird question, but do you think that it might be better if you don't know how wide something is? Do you know what I mean? Or how close, like if you didn't know. Yeah, I mean, I feel like sometimes I don't ask and I don't know if I should be asking. Yeah, because it is good to know how tight this is so that you're not too big, right? I get that. But you're making me think like it almost would be beneficial to not know in a way because you'd be freer in your body thinking your whole body's in it. Yeah. Because you're sitting with somebody, like right now I could see you, right? Yeah. Even though
you know, if I was going to replicate this shot, it would be a medium shot, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at you, but I could see everything if I wanted to, really fast, right? And you could see everything, and it's like, so you know not to do something crazy with your legs right now, otherwise it would be weird sitting with me, right?
Yeah.
And if this was a scene, like the character would think that too,
You're
right?
onto something.
I know,
think,
isn't that weird?
I think it just, well, I guess it just depends on what you want. Like
Yeah.
if you want this close up or this medium to be, you know, like very like pristine and not have movement, then I guess you wouldn't want me to move my legs. But if you want something that is very natural and more true to life, then the movements down here would create something up here that you do see, even if you don't see down here.
Yes.
So I guess it just depends on what you want.
Yeah. Is knowing exactly what is going on the screen freeing to you, or actually less freeing?
I feel like it can be both.
Yeah.
On one hand, it's very freeing to know that like anything I do works and is usable, if that's ever a case, really. But also I do find that I really do like being directed, and I find a lot of, you can find freedom in a constraint.
Yes.
And it's sometimes I have a hard time, like if I'm not being directed on set, I'm like, well, is any of this working? Like, what are my boundaries? Like, that's also really hard for me. So I think there's good and bad to both. Maybe it's just like communication.
Right.
Maybe it's like, this is what I'm looking for in this specific setup. And
it seems
how
like
can we get there?
communication is the most important thing with a director, I'm realizing.
Yeah.
The most important thing. Do you? I've heard you say something once, which was like, and maybe it's because you were a child actor. Like you almost want to be told what to do, right?
Yeah.
Even now.
Yeah.
Because you grew up with that way of doing it, right?
Yeah.
Where someone just told you what to do, exactly, and you did it.
Yeah.
And it was good. And then now you're getting to a point where people are kind of letting up on that.
Right.
And you're like, wait, can you just tell me what to do?
It's, the job is now becoming like much more about interpretation. And I mean, I guess it's nice because now I have some new aspect of it to get comfortable with, but it's really scary.
Yeah.
To just bring an idea and to trust that it's, I don't know, even worthy sometimes. It's definitely bringing up like my own insecurities as a person. And I don't like that because these environments where we're creating things together can feel so high stakes. But you have to know that you can try things and take that risk. But it's not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of the experience you had as a child actor has to amount to like people say, like you have to put in hours and hours in any art, and you did that. But is there something to be said, like as a child, you may have had bad habits that were developed, right?
Yeah.
And like, are you facing that now, that you have to like exhume some of those bad habits?
I am. Yeah. I spent 3 years on a sitcom, and I rushed through everything. Like everything, they were drilling us on pace. Like it was all about the pace. And that's not to say that we like couldn't take a breath, but it was very intentional when it happened.
Yeah.
And now I'm in this class right now in New York. It's kind of like a scene study, but I'm mostly just like doing a lot of like personal stuff. It's actually very much like emotional intelligence, which is silly, but I rush back to the page instead of like sitting in anything. And I find that even just like when I'm filming stuff, it's like sometimes I have to be reminded like, oh yeah, you can sit in this a little bit longer.
Yeah. Because it's still in your body, that need to like pace, pick it up.
Yeah.
Right? And you're kind of having to exhume that.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it actually comes in to help you when you actually do need things to be fast.
I think so.
Because some people can't do that.
Yeah.
I've been around sets where people are not able to pick it up and be natural.
Yeah.
When it needs to be.
I do think like one thing that I got out of doing it for so many years on like the sitcom and just ever since then is like, I feel like I can make dialogue very natural, very easily. My biggest concern now is like, yes, it's natural, but is it truthful? What I'm saying? And not just like, does it sound truthful, but like, does it actually mean something to me? Because I can make it sound like it means something to me, but that's not the same thing.
Yep.
And sometimes I'm realizing it's not that I don't know the difference, but my teacher now is like, sometimes he like stops me and like has me like sit with something longer. And I'm like, oh, that wasn't as, connected as it could have been. And maybe I realized it, maybe I didn't.
Yeah.
But that's where I'm at now.
But you're realizing that they realized it.
Yeah.
And that means that's a significant sign.
Yeah.
Right? That's not there. So you have to, but it's hard, right? I mean, so now what do you do? Because you also don't want to make this too technical. Like you have a technique.
Yeah.
You have a way of doing this that was successful. And now, I mean, is that a worry when you're like adjusting things? You're like, wait, is something going to go away now if I do this in a different way?
A little bit, but I also think that like the work that I'm doing in this class, for example, is not something I'm necessarily thinking about when I'm really on set or like doing a tape. So I feel like it's there and it's slowly creeping in, but it's not like, I don't think it's fundamentally changing how I show up. I still feel like at the end of the day, it's just very intuitive. I hope not, but I also think that like, I haven't done everything I want to do. So,
yeah.
And I have been doing this for a long time. So it's like, I do need to be evolving.
Yeah. You've been doing this for a long time, but you're still very young.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that exciting?
Yeah, that is exciting. Yeah.
To have both of those be true.
Yeah.
And you can change and you can even fail.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exciting.
Yeah.
After the sitcom, were you having to figure out how to develop a way to do auditions and to actually thrive in auditioning?
Yeah, I think I was very nervous about putting myself out there and failing. And then that started to show up as like I wouldn't be excited about auditions. And I remember talking to my mom about it, and she was really kind of straightforward with me. She was like, you need to fix your attitude, because if every time an audition comes in and your first thought is, oh God, like how am I going to get this done? Like you're going to be tense.
Yeah.
You're not going to have fun with it. And looking back on it now, I'm like, that was the best advice ever, because I would have burned myself out.
Yeah.
And I think I'm only realizing that right now because I'm sort of in that place right now. And it's all about attitude.
Yeah. It's so true that changes everything, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So what about when this role came along, Ben, in I Wish You All the Best? What was that audition like? I'm assuming there was an audition.
Yeah. It was a self-tape. It was a couple of scenes. It was interesting because I actually knew about the project like a year or two, maybe. I think I knew about it 2 or 3 years before, because our director, Tommy Dorfman, she had posted about it on her like Instagram. She had posted like a picture of the book. And I remember really being taken by the cover. And so I had like bought the book at the time because I was like, oh, this looks so beautiful. And then I didn't know that she was adapting it or anything, but I got it in my email and I was like, whoa, this is so crazy.
People would consider that some kind of mystical connection thing.
And I will say, like, when I did my audition, it was so, I don't want to say it was easy, but I didn't have to force anything. And the way Tommy writes, and this was true all throughout the process of filming and the rewrites and the reshoots that we did, is just, it sounds like a life that I've lived. Like the way she writes is like, it makes so much sense to me. And she would even be writing things that I had said before or thought. And so it was a very aligned process. And I did a couple of takes of the first scene, which was this like argument scene that I think got cut from the movie. But then the second scene, I did one take of it and I just sent it in. And I didn't overthink it and I didn't have to, drill it. I was just kind of like, on that day I showed up to tape it and I was like, yeah, this is just, I am this character. And filming was a lot of that too. Filming was so interesting though, because that was my first time being in every scene of something.
Yeah.
And so I had no idea just how wrapped up I was going to be throughout the day. There's no time to really prepare.
Right.
Like you finish the scene that you're doing and then you move straight on to the next one. And because of our shoot, we did it in like, it's less than 20 days, I think.
Oh, wow.
So we didn't have a lot of time. We were shooting a lot every day. And you just kind of have to be in it all the time. You can't really find your way in. I don't know. It was
that also though, after a while, kind of helpful because you get to stay in?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually find it harder now to
come out and come back in.
Back in, or like to be in a scene at the beginning of the day and then another one at the end. And it's like, what do you do in the middle of the day?
Yeah.
So I loved it, and it was awesome.
And is this the first thing she wrote? I mean, I know this is her first film.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she adapted it from a book by Mason Deaver, but
and it
she
sounds
made
like
it.
a passion
her
thing
own.
for her too, right? So she's probably thinking, how am I going to find this person?
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you're out there looking at that picture. Isn't that interesting?
Right.
It's crazy. Yeah. Do you find though, people have said this, that when they feel like they're close to a character, it's actually sometimes harder to act it, like and it's a little easier when there's some kind of separation.
Yeah.
Do you find that? But this person's not exactly like you, right? So there is some kind of separation.
Yeah, I think there's different kinds of actors.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely figuring out what kind of actor I want to be, but also am. Temperamentally, it's nice when a character is similar to me, because otherwise then I have to like rewire my responses to things, and I don't really know how to do that yet, or if that's possible to really do. So I will say, like, in a lot of ways, temperamentally, Ben is similar to me, but circumstantially very different. Growing up in the South, very conservative, very orthodox, like just culture and family, and that box, I feel like, really made them feel like they needed some sense of freedom. And that couldn't be further from me. I grew up in Southern California in a theater, like in a community theater, surrounded by all types of people. There was no pressure for me to be anything other than what I was at any moment. And I'm very grateful for that.
And that's got to help, right?
Yeah.
That's got to help in all aspects. Because this is the first time that you are actually, number one on the call sheet, essentially, and like you're saying, in almost every scene. Did you feel like a certain responsibility to be the acting leader?
Honestly, no, because Tommy was such a fearless leader, and she was so playful and confident. I felt like she really took that role, and I was very happy for her to do that. I don't think, this process was really, not intentionally, but it was very cerebral, and I was very much in my own world for a lot of it. And I think that's where Ben is at, and it just kind of happened in that way. So I think there were times where I was probably the opposite of like a great leader, where I was just like off doing my own thing and was maybe not as open. Yeah. And
because it was required kind of for the role.
Yeah. And I think you definitely see moments like that in the movie where Ben is like moody and like just in their own world. And I do love how that can kind of like mesh on the day with like my state. But I do wonder like what effect it has on other people, and I would never want to be I don't know, just like, I would never want someone to think I'm not being friendly, or to like not make someone feel welcome. I think sets can be so scary and lonely, and I want to do what I can, I think, to make people feel comfortable.
Yeah. Was there ever a time though when you showed up and you were feeling so out of connection with the way you had to be in band? And what did you do to get back to that?
It's tough because we shot it 3 years ago. And I usually keep a pretty extensive journal. Every day, like I write down everything that happened and
That's a good
how
idea.
I felt about things and what worked and what didn't work. And that I didn't do it for this movie because I was so exhausted, and I was I wish that I did it more than anything.
But it's so hard to write at the end of the day.
It's so hard.
When you're dead tired.
Well, because I would come home and I would use that time to make sure I was ready for the next day. So I just was like, I don't feel like I have even 15, 20 minutes to spend doing this. I regret that now because the days blend together, and then like I can't really distinguish the days. I can't distinguish what really happened that day or what it felt like. And you learn so much from knowing what worked and what didn't work and what you were doing. And what I'm realizing is like, there are going to be so many moments on set where you have to do something because it's scripted or because you shot some coverage one way and now you need to like do it in a different angle or do someone else's coverage and you have to match that. And you don't feel like you can do it, but you have to do it. And you just do it. You just find a way.
Find a way.
And I was doing this ice bath like a week or two ago. And it's so cold.
Yeah.
And I was doing like a circuit. So I would do like the hot and then the cold and then the rest.
Oh God.
And every time I would get to the cold, I would be like, I was like, I do not want to do this. I don't think I can do it.
Yeah.
And I make myself do it for 2 minutes. My friend put me on, and she's like on tour all the time, and she never gets sick since she started doing these ice baths. So I was like, okay. And I don't want to do it, and I do it anyway. And I think there's something there.
Yes.
I think there's something to
right.
doing things that you don't think you can do.
That are good for you, though.
Yeah.
You know, they have to be good for you.
I mean, if anything, just knowing that you can survive something you don't want to do.
Yes. Yes, you're right. And that I heard is so helpful mentally and everything. I mean, for your whole being.
Yeah.
Because this was Tommy's first time directing, but because she's an actress, I'm sure that, and from what you're saying, it sounds like it was a great experience. But can you talk a little bit about how important that was as a combination there to make you feel more comfortable?
I really don't think I could have done this without her. And I think she did a really great job of meeting every actor where they were at. So I felt like for me, she just kind of, I don't know where she got this idea, but she had made this playlist at the beginning of filming and she sent it to me. And we then would use that music while we were filming to kind of jump into certain states of being. And I found that really beneficial because I started to just like really love a lot of the songs on this playlist. And so it was like with the snap of a finger, like it would just connect me to something that we were going for. And I don't know if she'd used that before as an actor or if that was something she just discovered, but I don't think she didn't do it with anyone else. Like she just did that with me, and I loved that she just, I don't know, had the awareness that like everybody works differently and needs different things at different times, and I loved that, and I've kind of taken that with me. I've heard of people doing character playlists before, and it's kind of elusive to me because I'm like, I don't know if it's like at the end, if it's the character listening or me listening, like
I've asked
in
that.
the context of the story. And I feel like it's it can be whatever you want it to be.
Right.
But at the end of the day, like, it is still Corey listening to this stuff, so I have to like it.
Yeah.
But then it also has to make sense for the character.
It has to be effective,
Yeah.
too. As music.
Yeah.
Music is so effective, but it has to be the particular kind you want to get.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting, right? How fast it works.
Yeah, it's really cool. And also to, like, revisit someone. Like, between seasons 2 and 3 of this Netflix show that we're doing, you know, like, I go off and I do other things and I don't think about the character very much. And then, like, coming back to it this year, it was really cool to go back to my playlist that I was listening to last year, just to know, like, because it is pretty continuous where it picks up. It's actually, like, almost it's incredibly continuous. It's like the same night we pick back up. And so I went back and listened to that playlist when I got back to Calgary. And it was great. It was really helpful to put myself back in that place.
Yeah. What is it like to know that this character is going to mean so much to so many people? I mean, this is not just a normal movie. There are people that are going to be watching this that are going to say, finally, this is what it's like for me. And you know, you don't get that opportunity a lot, right? To play somebody like that. Did you feel a burden before you even started because you knew that would happen?
I didn't feel a burden, but I did feel a responsibility. And I will say the only reason I did this was because of Tommy, because I knew that she was going to do it right, and truthfully. Because in a lot of ways, this is her story. It's so many people's stories, but I was checking in with her like every moment of every day to make sure that it was what it needed to be. And it was so special to do that with her, and it's so exciting that this is coming out. Yeah, I'm just excited for it to like come out on streaming.
Yeah.
Cause like it's so exciting to have something come out in theaters, but I want the kids like in the small towns, like in small town North Carolina, to be able to see this. And I don't know exactly what the plan is for the theatrical release, but I can't imagine it's, you know, every theater ever made.
Right.
So I'm just really looking forward to that time and for people to feel less alone and maybe to have some, just like something to help them talk about things. Tommy made a point to highlight the joy of this story. It starts obviously in a really bad place. It's like really traumatic what happens to Ben, but so much of the story is about learning to receive love and hopefully get to a place where you can give it back to people. And I think that is so universal and something that I'm working on right now in my life and was 3 years ago when I shot this, but now in a completely new way. And it's just like, everyone's always saying like, love each other, but it's like, that really is like all we have.
That's it.
So yeah, I couldn't be more excited.
Is there anything that you can say about this new David Fincher movie?
Oh my God.
I mean, come on, there has to be something. What about what you play?
I definitely
Cryptically.
cannot say
Oh
that.
God. All right, that even in and of itself, you saying that so emphatically, we get to guess now what that means, because otherwise you wouldn't be saying it like that.
Well, the script was encrypted. When they sent me the script, I had 2 days to read it. It disappeared after 2 days. And it's like not a short thing.
Wow.
So it took me a long time. And it was crazy. I've never experienced that before.
Wow. That's new technology there.
I know. It was very serious. It disappeared. I'm like, good thing I didn't want to reference that.
Yeah. But
I'm like trying to convince myself that I got it all in one read, which is impossible.
But can you at least say like what it's like working with this guy? At least you can talk about that, because a lot of people have come on here talking about working with him in various different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been incredibly inspiring and so fulfilling and affirming. Like, I'm trying to figure out like what kinds of projects I want to make and like who I want to be making them with, and coming from like what we were saying earlier about like wanting to be directed.
Yeah.
Like, he is somebody who has such a clear vision for what he wants each frame to be. It's not even like a scene. It's like it's like frame. And he is directing movement. He's painting pictures.
Yeah.
And so to be a part of that, and to be like, it honestly feels, he cares so much. It feels like I'm being held by him. Because he cares so much. So I know that there's not a thing that I'm doing in front of his camera that he isn't okay with. Because if he is, he'll tell me.
Yeah.
And that's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah. I guess this matters, right? When you know that you will be told for sure if you're off on the wrong track.
Yeah.
That's so important.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people don't know, or they think, well, all right, we're moving on now, but I'm not sure we should be moving on. Like, that's the worst feeling in the world.
That is the worst feeling in the world.
Right? And then when you know for sure, when you're moving on, that they got it, that's security.
Yeah.
And like, how many times does somebody feel that? It's like, it seems to be rare.
Yeah. Well, because most of the time I feel like you don't really have time.
Right.
So it's like you move on because you have to.
Yeah. But this guy has so much time, right?
He has so much time.
It's baked into the budget how much it takes. Well, can you at least give us a number of how many takes you have at least been part of? Like, like the record number of takes that you've been a part of?
We did 50 we did 57 or so, I think.
Wow.
Like, it was on both sides.
Yeah.
So it was technically like 30 and then like 20 something. But I turn around in it. So I was technically on camera for both sides.
God.
So I'm counting it as 50.
Yeah.
And it was like, that was one of those situations where I was like, I have to do this right now. Like, I finished the 30 and I was like, I just sat there while they were turning everything around. And I was honestly thinking like, I don't know how I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And I just used it.
Yeah.
I used it, and it ebbs and it flows. Like, I'm not saying every take is, it's different for sure. And like, the life will be sucked out of me. And then for some crazy reason, I'll come back even stronger.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
And
like a second wind or something like that, right?
Yeah. It was so interesting. And it was so scary. I was so scared that day. Obviously, I can't talk about what the scene is, but it was like the best feeling in the world to finish that day, and to know that he was happy with it. And the next day, Brad was like really kind about it, and it was just like, obviously, you know, like, I felt really good about it, so I was happy. But it was nice to know that like other people had,
that's huge.
Taken note, I guess.
Yeah.
Or that it translated. I think that's what it was, because like, it can feel one way and not actually be that way. But to know that it felt the same way that it came across to other people, or that it worked, was good news, I guess. Yeah.
Then you feel like I can do pretty much anything now, right?
Yeah, maybe.
I mean,
for like a week, and then it wears off, and I'm like, oh, I have to prove myself all over again. So honestly, how it felt.
Right. There's no getting away from like, it all starts over again the next time.
Yeah.
You can prove yourself again.
Yep.
Corey Fogelmanis, thank you so
Oh my gosh, this is the end. This was so fun.
See how fast that went by?
Dang.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Back to One is a production of Filmmaker Magazine, which is a publication of The Gotham. Listen to back episodes of this podcast at filmmakermagazine.com or wherever you get your podcasts.